Hello guys, my name is Quack, and today we have some Battlefield 3 close quarters for the first time actually. I'm using probably one of the weirder kits I've ever done, and that's the M4A1 with a laser sight and a bipod. So in this round I actually got off to a pretty bad start, and the previous round was even worse actually, because I was still using the suppressor on the M4, and then sometimes I use foregrip, but most of the time I don't even bother the foregrip anymore, especially with this family of guns. It's fine with a bipod, and like some people choose to just no foregrip, no bipod, and since the bipod, from what I remember, has no negative repercussions from using it, I see no reason to not use it. On the topic of negative things, today I want to talk about getting off to a bad start and how I recover from it, and some things that I found out that do help you recover from it. So first things first, I'm pretty sure most of you players, or pretty much all of you, have come into that awkward phase where you kind of haven't been playing actively, but you've still been playing occasionally, and then all of a sudden, despite servers, players, you don't know what, you're suddenly doing really badly. And that turnaround thing, I may have been lagging there because I'm not sure. Now that I look at the ping, I don't think the server's in Europe, but a side note about servers, most of the time I have like this natural affinity for like German servers, and I naturally gravitate towards them in the server browser. Maybe it's because there are a lot of them out there, and maybe it's because the map and ticket count and stuff like that are ideal for me, but it kind of gets a lot of people mad at me, especially quite a few of my clan members that are in North America. They're always just like, whenever I find a server, they usually don't let me find a server, or if we're going to just pub for a little while, most of the time they're just like, oh, it's Quack, he's gonna pick a German server, let's not. So back on topic. For example, in this round, I got off to a pretty bad start, and honestly, I'll have to say part of it is myself for not playing the assault kit. A lot of the time, I consider the assault kit to be probably the easiest in Battlefield 3 to play. And like, a lot of decent players would agree with me on that, just because it's so versatile. You can heal yourself, you still have explosives, and you're so much better on, despite what some people say, you're so much better on close quarters compared to the engineer. The engineer, for me, their rifles and guns, or rather their carbines, is called by Battlefield 3. A lot of them are like dumbed down versions of assault rifles, and that I don't always appreciate. And the closest you can probably get to an assault rifle, the M4A, is probably the M4A1 I'm using, the G36, something like that, and maybe not even the G53. It doesn't even feel like an assault rifle, because oh my god, I'm cutting off here and there. The assault rifles are more accurate, and they have long range capability. This is something that carbines don't have, and I find that kind of tragic, because I like to be able to play at all ranges, and the sheer advantage that the assault gives me with that, and I did start to use the 93R recently, just because it's actually really good. I remember before it became popular, my clan leader, he was talking to me on Xfire, and he's just like, I use the 93R. I don't know why other people don't use it, because it's like, it's pretty good now. And it was his favorite weapon in Bad Company 2. And obviously in Bad Company 2, the 93R was the marshmallow gun, because it was really, 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 need I say really even more? Really bad, according to a lot of people. But in Battlefield 3, they buffed it, they made it good. And regarding the M4A1, I'm not going to use it that much anymore after the next patch, because they are nerfing it, and I do like other carbines much better than this. from... I was just using this because it was close quarters. And as I said, I was having a bad day, and... Or rather, I was having a bad day. I don't know if that went through, even. I was having a pretty bad day, so, so I had to do this. I did pretty well at the end. But, generally, I just started taking it easy. I wasn't going as crazily aggressive, and then, all of a sudden, Russians! You see that? They just started spawning there, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna take as many as I can, and then I'm gonna die, because there's no other way out of this. And when that happens to you, it's always good to assess the situation. Am I gonna go for kills and just kill as many before I die, and will that get me more kills, or can I just run away and come back another day? And that's a split-second decision making that you have to do. I was kind of feeling lazy that day, which may be another attribute to my rather lack of success. Anyhow, first things first, you've got to sit in a proper position. I know a lot of people will pretty much be screw seating. That's for work, that's for school, that's for whatever. But it actually does help. If you're, I mean, sometimes I know comfortable sitting is comfortable, but sitting in a good position is actually, you can move your mouse better, you can overall move the keyboard better, and you control yourself better. Sometimes sitting isn't the actual problem you have, and I know a lot of the time I'm actually, I'm either tired, hungry, or not feeling very, I guess the word would be content right now, or, you know, right now being in the time of when I'm doing this. Make sure you're not like starvingly hungry, and make sure you're at least half awake to do this, because if you're tired, you play poorly. If you play poorly, you try to stress yourself out to get to try to play better, and then if you stress yourself out, you get even more tired and hungry and angry and all that bad stuff that you generally don't want when you're gaming, especially since a lot of the time you have something to do after this. So to do something when you're tired, angry, and probably hungry, it's probably bad, if you know what I mean. However, it's not to say that I don't game myself when I'm hungry or tired sometimes, but a lot of the time I actually have something next to me to eat, but usually it's not something that can get my keyboard messy. But if it is something like chips, which has, like, you know, over 9,000 salts on them, I did it when my friend taught me to do, and I used like chopsticks to eat chips. It actually does work, but even though it's a bit slow, it does work, keeps your keyboard clean. And if you're not Asian, and you know, you might not have chopsticks, actually I don't know what you could do if you don't have chopsticks. Okay, let me brainstorm for a few seconds here. Chopsticks, fork, no. Chips, no. Spoon, I guess you could use a spoon, I don't know. But one of the many things I like to do, and one of the many things I've slowly learned over my time gaming. As the last thing to say, you gotta not take the game so seriously all the time. I know I sound like a hypocrite. I'm using the M4 and the 93R. If you've been playing Battlefield for a little while, you'll know what I mean. And that there's quite some irony in my statement, but taking the game less seriously, just having some fun, not trying to live up to some crazy standards does help you, and I think it's definitely one of the most important things that I did during this round. Just relax. It's okay if I get a bit of a crappier score. No need for just, as I said, insane, not really insane, just really high standards. And if this helped you, that's actually really great. I know it helped me when I was actually talking through this and thinking about it. I just realized that all these things do make you, it helps you come back from a really bad start. It helps you come back from just a crappy day, maybe a crappy round. And that's all for today. I'll see you guys next time.